Yo, what's up? It's your man Chazzellis once again. Just out here chilling, doing these little videos for you. Somebody actually hit me up and asked me if they thought they were a rebound and they wanted to know exactly how to find out whether you are one. And it's like 7 ways, 7 signs to let you know whether or not you are a rebound person, whether you're the rebound chick or the rebound dude. And, just to let you know what to do about this shit. The first sign that you're going to get that you are a rebound is early connection and willingness to commit. When you generally deal with a person, there's a level of hesitancy about trying to be with somebody new. And the reason for that is because they've already dealt with a person. That didn't work out. They've closed that wound and are afraid to reopen it. When you're dealing with somebody who's on the rebound, that's totally opposite. Totally opposite, because they've dealt with a person, the wound is still open, and they're looking for somebody to pack it. You see what I'm saying? They have not dealt with their shit, and they have not closed it. So they're going to easily take you in, and they're going to easily transfer everything they were feeling about that other person onto your ass. So all this good loving and wonderful treatment you're going to be getting, and that willingness to commit so early, is coming from the fact that they have never closed the old wound. Residual effects are still there. You're going to get various. The second thing you're going to look at is you're going to get a lot of conflicting, inconsistent thoughts and feelings. Like, you go over their house on Monday, love. Oh, I love you. I care so much about you. I can't envision my life without you. You go over their house on Wednesday, I don't know where this is going necessarily, and I care, but I'm thinking about it, blah blah blah. You're gonna get that kind of thing, or you'll get a consistent 3 weeks in a row of them acting like a normal person, like they really care about your ass, and then they'll just be standoffish, or it won't make sense to you, and you're like, what the fuck? So that's something that you gotta watch out for. You gotta watch out for the inconsistency in their emotions and feelings. They're going to also have, once you get past that point, you're going to have the rapid deterioration of feelings. That means where they was all on top of you before, and they was like, I love you, I care so much about you, and it was kind of intense before, it's going to rapidly deteriorate. It's going to turn into, go from I love you and I care a lot about you to I'm not returning your phone calls all the time, I'm doing this stuff here, I'm doing that. It's going to kind of get real distant, real super duper quick. And you're not going to be able to figure out exactly why. Because it don't have nothing to do with you. It's got to do with what's going on with their relationship that's still the core relationship. See, the person that they're rebounding from is the core relationship. And you're like, you just something to occupy their time. Sounds fucked up, but it's the truth. This is the person that they chasing around the world. And as long as that person keeps running away, they're going to use you to give them energy to keep chasing them. Or they're going to use you to get energy to keep chasing what they once had. They may be trying to find somebody opposite or whatever the hell. But you're just energy for them. It's something to occupy their time. You're going to have consistent bashing of the ex, followed by defense. What I mean by that is, you probably all been through it before. They bash the ex. He wasn't shit. She wasn't shit. She did this. She did that. He did this. He did that. And then when you try to come in and say something bad about him too, like, we all want to try to co-sign a motherfucker when they say something like, that does sound fucked up. They'll turn right back around and defend them. It's some crazy shit, but if you listen and you think about it, you'll notice that that's what happened. Because here's what's going on. And it's some shit that's going on outside of your situation that you probably don't know about. A lot of times, when somebody's on the rebound, they're still dealing with the ex. Maybe not physically dealing with the ex, but they're still dealing with them. Conversations, the relationship is still kind of, in their mind, is still fresh, and it's still going on. So the ex at some point is going to notice that you came into the picture. They don't have to tell them. They don't have to do shit. At some point, the ex is going to notice that you came into the picture. And the ex is going to start trying to push where they were absent before. When somebody's rebounding, especially, they're vulnerable to that. Exes have a great way of figuring out what the hell you doing, even if you ain't told them shit. You don't have to tell them nothing. You don't have to have been out in public where they can find you. They know because of how you're acting towards them. When you're dealing with somebody new, you don't have time for your ex. You don't have time for your ex's bullshit. They saying something to you, they trying to start a fight, and you don't even fight back. They know somebody else is in your life now. And that's when they going to start making a move. And now, if you're over them completely and not vulnerable, it ain't going to matter. But if you're vulnerable, that's when you start seeing the changes. They dog the ex, then they come right back and defend them. All these gradual changes that you see, or if you see that rapid decline, is coming from that. X is coming back into the game. All right, and things just moving around. You get a lack of concern for your feelings. It used to be a time when when they cared about you and they seemed to care about you and they seemed to want you to be around and all that kind of stuff. And they wanted your time and all that kind of stuff. But here's something that I want you to ask somebody. If you think you're a rebound, this is one of the biggest things you want to ask them. Say, what is it that you like about me? That's one of the major things you want to ask them. And this will tell you that, this let you know that you're a rebound. If what they say they like about you is in reference to their ex, I like you because you ain't loud and obnoxious like my ex was. I like you because you don't be doing this. Now, don't get me wrong. People are going to always compare somebody to somebody else. That's going to happen. But if everything they say is in reference to their ex, or if everything they say is only based on what you're doing for them and not who you are, because you got to remember, they broke up with this person for some reason. They broke up with this person for some reason. It was something going on. So, when they sit there and you ask them, what do you like about me? I'm going to tell you some crazy shit. If you say, what do you like about me? And they be like, girl, you got a fat ass and I love looking in your eyes. You're pretty. That's less damaging than saying, because you do everything in the world for me. My ex never did shit. It's crazy, but it'll make sense if you really just think about it. Another thing you can look at is the rationing of that person's time. See, we spend time on what we care about. Point blank. We give our time to what we care about. Person could be working, they could be doing all that kind of shit, but they spending time on something. They're putting their time into something that they care about. If that person is putting most of or all of their time on you and it stays consistent, it's probably not a rebound. Because they're giving you their time and they're consistently doing so. You also got to look at the fact that if they got other shit to do and they're still trying to spend time with you, it's probably not a rebound. But what usually happens in a rebound is they don't have shit else to do and they want to occupy their time. They want to occupy their time with you. So they're occupying your time. They're calling you up all times of the night. Hey, you want to come chill? Because they're alone, they're lonely, thinking about their ex, and you're a distraction. But let them be doing something where they're having a good time. They out with their friends, or they about to go out with somebody, or they got something else, anything else that they could be doing. They're going to be doing that, not spending time with you. So they're wasting your time and keeping you at their convenience. Another thing, and this is the last thing, becoming very honest. What? Somebody being honest with me is a sign that I'm a rebound? Yes. When people are really, really honest with you, it's usually because they don't give a shit. Honesty is usually it's a difference between telling people the truth and just telling people the blunt truth. Like, you know what? I ain't really that interested. I don't really care. I don't care. I did this. I did that. They start keeping it too real. That's how you know you've been a rebound. Is when they start keeping it too freaking real. Now, I told you I was going to tell you how you can tell you're a rebound, but I'm solution oriented, so I'm going to tell you how to deal with it. First thing you do is when you discover that you're a rebound, and it ain't going to be hard to figure out, you probably already knew. This confirms it for you. When you discover that you used to be a rebound, that you're a rebound at this time, cut off all communication. 100%. Cut it off. Even if you have to do something like tell their ass about themselves so that they no longer want to talk to you, cut off all communication. I don't care if you got to call him a hoe. I don't care if you got to call him, say something bad about his mama. Cut off all communication. That is how you start it. Now, you're going to want to change your story. You're going to want to not end up being the damn rebound. So that's going to keep you wanting to go after this person because it pisses you off that you're a damn rebound. You're like, man, I'm a rebound. That's what I am. That's what happened to me. The pride and the ego is going to get to you and cause you to want to keep talking to this person. But you know what you're going to find out? If you cut off communication, you're not really that interested in them. The only thing that kept you interested in them is the fact that they gave you the best of them at the beginning because that was what they still had left over for the other person. You didn't have to knock down any doors. It was right there in front of you. The best of that person was right there in front of you without knocking down any doors. So you're going to keep fighting for that, but that's gone. I promise you, you'll never get back to that. You want that back, but you're not getting back to it. So just close that window. Close that door. And don't talk to them no matter what. That's the key to getting over somebody when you're a rebound. Cutting off communication. Then when you cut off communication, start spending time with other people. Talking to other people. Doing different things. Sometimes you may even need a rebound. But it's a vicious cycle. But you got to make sure that you do not make yourself available to somebody. And no matter what you do, if you get rebounded off of somebody else, the natural thought process to do is to go back to an ex. Or go back to somebody who you really weren't that interested in to begin with. That's going to be like a natural thought process. That's a good way to get yourself caught right back up in a fucked up relationship. You got to remember, the reason why you end up in rebounds a lot of times is because they have a piece of what you're looking for and you have a piece of what they're looking for. It looks like the whole damn thing because all the stuff you got going on from other people in your past are still with you, plus that little piece that other person is providing. Rebound was never that good, and it never will be again. Ride a rebound out. If you had a good time with it, cool. But just realize that once it's over, it's over. Cut off that communication. Move on. Y'all, even though I said cut off all communication, a lot of you guys and girls want to reconnect with people that you feel had you in a rebound type situation. I'm like this. There's a lot of danger involved in it, but if you want to play in the street, I'm going to at least show you how to look both ways. So, with that being said, I came up with a few things for you guys that y'all can do to try to make it work. Okay, number one is you have to realize that you are a rebound. That's not changing, not today, not tomorrow, not next week, not 10 years from now. You are a rebound. And I'm saying it like this because it's one of those things where, and if you watch, y'all need to watch 7 Signs You Were a Rebound Part 1 if you haven't. But what I'm saying, the reason I'm saying this to you because, as I told you in the first one, you're going to have a need, a wish, a want to change your story. You're going to want to rewrite the fairy tale so that you don't come out being the bad witch that got crushed by the house. You want to be the hero in the story. It's only natural, it's human nature. But that's not what happened. That's not what happened. You did not win that in that particular story. You were the rebound. You got played. You have to accept it. Okay? This doesn't work unless you accept that principle. You have to understand that relationship already happened and it's now over. And whatever you got going with this person, when you start talking to them again, it's brand new. All right? You can't be out here like, oh, now this is my chance to get back at them for what they did to me back in the day, and now I'm not going to get played. I'm going to play them. You're going to get played if you think that. I promise you it'll turn out bad. because it puts them at an advantage because they are the last ones to win on you. Okay? If you're sitting here trying to rewrite that same story, then you're starting off at a disadvantage. You want to start off brand new and say, okay, you got me that time. You know, yeah, I was a rebound. I'm cool with that. I accept it and I move on. If we're going to reestablish any kind of relationship, we're going to talk again, cool. But I realized I was a rebound back in the day and I'm cool with that. I'm not mad. All right, that's the first thing you got to do is go, I'm not mad, move on, realize you're a rebound. That's very important. As I told you before, once you've realized that you were a rebound, you still want to cut off communication and disappear. What I mean by that is, once you've realized that you were a rebound in the last situation, you want to have cut off communication and totally disappeared out of that person's life. You're going to have to do that no matter what. All right? You're going to have to cut off communication and disappear no matter what. Whether you reconnect with them again is up to you, but you're going to have to cut off communication at some point in time. Because if you don't reestablish, you cannot reestablish a new relationship unless you end the first one. You have to end the first relationship to reestablish another one that you're in a better position on. You know what I'm saying? So you have to cut off that communication. Don't text them. Don't be calling them. Don't try to go where they're at. You know, don't try to go to their job talking about, nah, man, she just happened to work at Walgreens and I was looking for some flip-flops. Come on, dog. Come on, man. You know you was going to that Walgreens she worked at because you wanted to be around her. Can't be doing that kind of stuff. Be honest with yourself. That's what gives you all the power in the world, is when you're keeping it real with yourself and you know what you're trying to do. So cut off that communication. Stop talking to him, her, whoever. Stop talking to that person. And don't do that fake stuff where you try to, I called them because he had left his earphones at my crib, you know what I'm saying, and hadn't went and got them, so I was just telling him to come get his earphones. Yeah, I wasn't trying to talk to him again. Bull crap. You're talking to him because you want to hear their voice. Be real with yourself. Once you do that and you cut off that communication for real and stop with the excuses to talk to them again, that's when you can start getting ready to reestablish. That's when you can start thinking about reestablishing. But until you cut off that communication, it ain't happening. Okay. The third thing you got to think about is that you're not in a hurry to get back with somebody. You're never in a hurry. Life is 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's a lot of time if you really think about it. And you have a lifetime to get back with any person that you dealt with before. You could talk to somebody that you knew in high school after you already graduated from college 3-4 years ago. It happens that way. It works that way. Don't feel like you're in a hurry. Don't feel like you got to go out there and rush and talk to this person. Oh, okay, we stopped talking last week. Now I got to call them again before somebody else get on there. I think their relationship is really over now. I think they're over the rebound now. I'm going to move on. I'm going to get them. I'm going to get them now. I got my opportunity. If I don't capitalize right now, that sense of hurry is what makes you look lame. That sense of hurry is what makes you desperate and what attracts people to you who want to use you as a rebound. Okay? What you have to understand is that life goes in cycles. There are ebbs and flows. Just because you were that person's rebound last year doesn't necessarily mean that you're in a position this year that it would even be something for you to consider. Because that's how life works. Last year, you may have just lost your job. You may have just lost the person that you was with and just gotten over them. You know what I mean? You might have been in a situation where you just got over the last person that you were with, just lost your job. Your best friend died. All kind of stuff could have been happening when you ended up being in that rebound situation with that person. Something that made you need them so much more than they really needed you. They might have needed you for a second, and then they they bounce back to go want to be with that other person. You see what I'm saying? So you have to make sure that your cycle is right. You're not in any hurry. You got to make sure you're in the right frame of mind, that you're in the right cycle in your life to deal with that person. You got to make sure that you're up enough and that you're strong enough that whatever that person throws at you and whatever they decide to do isn't going to devastate you the way it did the last time. You're not going to be hung on them the way you were the last time. It doesn't matter what they show you. You don't really need it that much right now. You're in a position where you can say no. You're in a position where you can be like, you know what, this ain't really working out the way I thought it was going to. I don't need to keep doing this with you. That's the kind of position you need to be in. And if you're not in that position, then you don't need to start talking to them again. Don't get in a hurry. You got a lifetime to talk to whoever you want to. There is no such thing as a hurry, because people's lives change. And you also have to make sure that their cycle is right. Not just that they're over the person that they were getting over when they started talking to you the first time, but you also have to make sure that their cycle is where they can receive somebody to care about them, or that they're not up and you're down, because that ain't gonna do nothing but cause you to get in the same situation you was in last time. They're up, you're down, or they got a lot going on in their life, you don't got much going on in your life right now, and they're all you have, and you're just a distraction from their relationship situation. That ain't gonna work. You got to make sure your cycle is right. Like right now, you're strong. You always want to talk to people when you're strong, because when you're dealing with somebody from a position of strength, everything is different. The way they played you last time can't happen again, because now you're strong. All right, so make sure you do not feel like you're in a hurry to get back with that person, and you recognize the cycles. Recognize you're in the right place right now to deal with somebody. You just got a new job. You just moved to a new house. You lost weight. You've been exercising. You're feeling good about yourself right now. You up. You as high as you could possibly be. And this person might contact you again, and you say, you know what? Enough time has passed. I liked him. I had a good time with him. I'll talk to him again. But you don't need it. You're not in a position where you need it. You like, okay, I'll talk to you because I feel like talking to you, because it's something I want to do right now, but I don't need it. Different story. So you're not in a hurry. Okay? Number 4, the next thing is make them prove it to you. Now, I got this from a lot of people. A lot of people in their comments and in their questions and private messages, they said that the other person has apologized to them. Like the other person is trying to re-enter their lives, and they've apologized to them. They apologized for everything they did wrong before. They apologized for dogging me out. They've apologized. Well, I say this all the time. And a friend told me this one time when I was in not necessarily a rebound situation at that time, but I was in a situation with an ex. A friend told me, if this person really cared about you, if she really cared, she would do everything to make it right that she did to make it wrong. She would be going just as far the other way as she was going that way. You know what I mean? That means if this person that went through all this mess, they dogged you in every possible way when you was a rebound, if they really were sorry and they really felt bad and it was something that they really felt they lost, then they would be doing everything in their power to prove to you and take you back the other way. You know, and if they're not doing that, and all they're coming at you with is words, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean what I did, man, I was going through some stuff, man, I was high back then, and I was going through some stuff with it. If they telling you all that bull crap, but the actions aren't necessarily matching up, you're in a situation where they're not doing anything for you. They're not putting themselves out there in any way, shape, or form. They're just telling you what they feel about you and then expecting things to go back to the way they used to be. Okay, now come back here and comfort me and make my life better. I apologized. I gave you some heartfelt apology. That doesn't mean anything, man. People give heartfelt apologies all the time and then go back and do the same crap. You know, that's kind of like being in an abused woman type of situation where this dude's smacking you up and beating you down, and then next thing you know, you're like, I'm sorry, I was drinking that OE, and you know, when I get drunk, then, you know what I'm saying, my fists just go any kind of way, but you know, I'm sorry, I love you, girl. Come on now. You know good and well it's going to happen again. And that's what happens. You know, so you got to make sure that they prove it to you. Make them prove it. Say, you know, when they start trying to talk to you again, make them prove it. So if they come at you, like for instance, say they call you up and say, hey, you know, I just want to talk to you again, see if we can hang out or whatever. You go, once again, you ain't in a hurry. So you can go, well, yeah, we'll see. I'm kind of been busy here lately, but we'll see. Maybe we have some time. If they continuously pursue you when it's not easy for them, maybe they're serious. If they continuously show you, don't make it easy for them is what I'm saying. Don't just let them right back into the pocket. Like, oh, okay, come back in here and get these hugs and love and all this stuff that I was giving you before. Because a lot of times what's happened is they were chasing that ex, so not the drug. They were chasing the ex, and they didn't have time in their life to feel anything for you. They didn't care that much about you because they were chasing the ex. You know what I mean? So now they might have been in a situation that came up where the ex ain't really talking to them no more. The ex ain't really dealing with them no more, and because they know you've left. That's something we didn't talk about in the last video because we didn't talk about reconnecting. Now the ex knows and senses that you left. This is a real serious aspect of this. The ex now knows that you have gone away because some time has passed and this person is going back to their regular old needy ass self. See what I mean? When they were here's why you liked the person so much when you were on the rebound. Because they weren't needy. They were aloof a lot of the time. They gave you everything you need and they really didn't push you for anything. They wasn't like all in your face all the time and stuff like that. Because they were still wanting those things from the other person. You made them the perfect person. Because between the two of you, between you and their ex, you guys were both pulling them in different directions. So they're never needy. They're never unsure. Because they've got you reassuring them at all times. And then they got the fact that they're still wanting to be with their ex. So you're with them reassuring them to make them look better to the ex. And the ex is drawing their attention so that they're never really pushing you or seeming really needy towards you. So you guys are getting together to make them the perfect person. That's what you got to think about. So now that the ex has recognized the fact that you're no longer in the picture, they've gone back to being a regular person. Now all the insecurities are there. All the neediness is there now. So they're going to come back and they're probably going to be on the humble. But you got to remember, and you got to always be thinking about this. This is why I say make them prove it to you. Because just because they can come back like that and be humble and sweet and care about you, ain't that what they did last time? Weren't they humble and sweet last time? Until the ex found out that you were in the picture and then drew their attention. And then they turned into that person that didn't give a damn about you and that you had to constantly chase, right? That was sexy to you, but it turned bad. That can happen again. So you have to constantly make them prove it to you. You can't be in a situation where you're sitting there going, okay, you're cool now, so you're going to stay that way. Remember they did that before. So when they're cool, fine. But make sure they have to go through some things. Make sure they have to go through some tests. All right. And this kind of goes into that. We'll make them prove it to you. Make it on your terms. Make the relationship on your terms. I heard one person, I'm going to try to get a lot of you guys' questions into this video, some of the specific points that I remember from your questions. One person asked, is it okay to become friends with the girl again? He was like, is it okay? She wants me to be friends, saying that there might be a relationship, a possibility for the relationship in the future. And I was like, no, don't do that. And here's why. Because that's on her terms. See, what a lot of people like to do is they like to create a situation which I like to call the go-to guy. And what that is it could be a woman, it could be anybody, but I just call it the go-to guy because that rhymes and people know the same. They like to create a situation where they call it the go-to, where it's called the go-to guy. That means every time something's going bad in their life, they go back to you and waste more of your damn time. But the only way for them to do this is to keep you single and to keep you grasping for that opportunity at a relationship that will probably never come. They have no choice but to do that. That's the way that they keep you as a person they can always go back to when they try for somebody else and it doesn't work out. You become the go-to guy or the go-to girl. A lot of y'all have been in this situation. Actually, some ladies asked me about this too because they said they've been in a lot of off and on relationships with this person. A lot of times you've become the go-to guy. And that's when they say, let's stay friends. Let's just be good friends. And the reason why they want to keep you as a friend is because that's an opportunity for them to keep you in their life so you keep them strong. Here's another aspect of it that's real fucked up. I talked about it in the other video. What that person does a lot of times is they use you as fuel to go get the things that they want. Say it's another person, not even the ex. It's a new person that they want to talk to. They use you as fuel to give them confidence to go out there and talk to whoever they want to. And then you're left holding the bag. They're like, oh, we might get together one day. We might get together. You know, I heard it was going to be a full moon. That could be our time. When Halley's Comet comes back around, me and you, and you're just like, it ain't even about them. It's the fact that you're just tired of the fact that you didn't win. And part of you is just fighting for that. You fighting to change your story. And that's how they get you. That's how they keep you as the go-to guy, because you're hoping that one day the opportunity will come along for you to be able to say, yes, you want me now. I won. And then 9 times out of 10, you ain't going to want him anyway. When that happens. If that happens. But that's why I say you have to make the relationship on your own terms. If they talking about being friends with them, you like, yeah, that's cool. Then don't call them. Don't communicate with them. Don't do crap to be around them. Make no effort whatsoever. Don't flat out tell them that you don't want to be their friend, because that makes you sound lame. But agree to being their friend and then don't talk to them. Like, yeah, okay, we'll be friends. You know, just don't even say, when they call you, ignore their calls. Be like, whatever. You know, when you see them, be like, oh, pretend like you don't even know you ignored their call. What? You called me? Say, oh, man, the phone must have been on vibrate. You know, I saw where you called, but then I forgot to call you back. My bad. And just keep doing that to them. Because what that does is it switches the situation where now it's on your terms and they're needy. Because you're not worried about them. You're living your life. Because that's how you make people, that's how you attract people to you. Remember I talked about cycles. You want to deal with people when you're up. When you're up is the time to deal with people. Because when you deal with somebody when you're down, it ain't not necessarily just when you're up money-wise or physically and all that. When you're up mentally, when your spirit is up. When you're up and you deal with somebody, you're always dealing from a position of power. And that's how you want to deal with this situation. When you realize I was a rebound, you cut off that last situation. Okay, fine, that happened already. I'm done with that. I'm no longer in a position of weakness because that relationship is over. When you cut off that communication, you're cutting off the last opportunity for them to talk to you, deal with you, and put you in that rebound situation. You're cutting that off. You're deading that whole relationship. Whenever you do reestablish communication, you're slow walking it. You're going, I'm not in a hurry to talk to you again. I'm not in a hurry to be a part of your life. I'm not in a hurry to deal with you. You're in a hurry to mess with me. and you're making sure that your cycle is cool. Okay, I'm in a cycle where I'm up. I'm feeling good about myself right now. And you're in a cycle where you need me. That's the only way I'm talking to you. Until that happens, I don't give a doggone if you call me 5 times a day. Until you get in a cycle where you need to talk to me, I'm not talking to you. And I don't care how long it takes, because maybe I won't care by the time you get there. Maybe I have found somebody else. And if not, and you get there, cool. But we're doing it on my terms. And we're doing it in the timeline I say so. You want to make them prove it to you. The reason why you want to make them prove it to you, because you want to make them work. You want to make sure that whatever it is they're doing is coming from a place that you can deal with. Even if they are still a rebound situation, you want to make sure that you're not strung out, that you're not the person chasing them around and tiring yourself out, losing your energy, putting yourself in a situation where you can't talk to nobody else because you're so worried about them. You don't want to do that to yourself. So while they're proving it to you, even if they're lying and it turns out that they're not right and the situation is the same crap it was before, it doesn't matter, because they've used their energy. You didn't use yours. And that's also why you want to make the relationship on your terms. I don't want to be your friend with benefits. I don't want to be your friend with no benefits. Because there's two friends with benefits. There's the one that guys do to girls, where they usually just have sex with them and use them whenever they want them. And there's the one that girls do to guys, where you're my friend, but that really only means that whenever I don't have crap else to do, I'm going to call your ass and waste your damn time, and then make you hold out hope that we'll one day be in a relationship. It's both the same thing, basically. You're holding out hope that there's going to one day be a relationship, and it ain't happening. So you want to make sure that it's on your terms. We're friends when I say we're friends, or we're not friends at all. We hang out if I feel like hanging out with you. Otherwise, we ain't hanging out at all. And I really don't care which way it is. Once you start taking that attitude, because people say this all the time and it's true, the person with the most power in a relationship is the one that cares the least. That's how come they were able to do that rebound crap with you before, because they didn't care. But now you've checked the cycle, and they're not in a position to play that game. They're not where they were before, and you're not where you were before.